Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer brought to you by Forge College. Let's jump right in. First off, a massive congratulations to you all. In our last lesson, you did the heavy lifting, right? You scaffolded your project and built an absolutely gorgeous working prototype using the Solana SDK. You've got your IPFS integration humming, a pinned set of NFT metadata CIDs, and this robust Filecoin-backed archival plan. It looks fantastic. But today? Well, today our goal is to take that beautiful ship you just built and stress test the absolute heck out of it. We are diving headfirst into security validation and auditing.
Because, as this quote perfectly nails, a prototype without an audit is just a disaster waiting to happen. Up until now, we've been the optimistic builders, assembling everything piece by piece. But for this explainer, we kind of need to put on our black hats. Think of it as a friendly heist. We're going to play the role of the attacker. We need to jiggle all the digital locks, rattle the windows, and check for loose hinges before we actually load our precious, irreplaceable NFT cargo into our decentralized storage. It's time to break things on purpose so nobody else can do it by accident.
Here is our engineering blueprint for today. 1. The security audit kickoff. 2. Testing integrity and pointers. 3. APIs and Filecoin deals. 4. Building the debug report. And 5. Checkpoint and next steps.
Okay, moving right along into Section 1, the Security Audit Kickoff.
Before we start swinging our digital crowbars, we need to gather our tools. We aren't just hacking blindly here. We're bringing together the concrete artifacts we've already produced. So, pull up that threat model document from the project kickoff, grab those deployment sketches, load up your metadata schema, and of course, have your working prototype running locally or on the devnet. Because look, in the world of security auditing, merely suspecting a bug or seeing a weird error once, that doesn't cut it. A bug is literally just a rumor until you have a reproducible proof of concept, or a POC. Your POC is your concrete evidence. It's the smoking gun proving exactly how a system can be compromised. We aren't just looking for flaws. We're writing small scripts to prove those flaws exist, on demand every single time.
So how do we actually guide this attack? Well, on one side we have our threat model. That's the plan. On the other side, we have the implemented prototype. That's the target. Your threat model is essentially your hit list. It already enumerates the attacker goals, the sensitive assets, the trust boundaries, the whole shebang. We're taking that theoretical hit list and executing it against the actual, real-world implementation of your prototype.
Let's dive into Section 2, Testing Integrity and Pointers.
This is where we run our first major attack vectors. We need to answer two absolutely critical questions. Is the content we're fetching actually what we expect? And are the signs pointing to that content secure? We verify content integrity using a script. Let's just call it fetchdigest.js. Step 1. We fetch the CID via IPFS. Step 2. We normalize the JSON. This is key, because different gateways might add weird whitespace or change the field order, which totally breaks standard hash checks. Step 3. We compute a fresh SHA-256 hash of that normalized data. And finally, Step 4. We compare that digest across different gateways. If the digest mismatches across repeated runs or different nodes, boom, we've caught someone or something tampering with our CID content serialization.
Which brings us to a massively important question. Who can actually update your IPNS pointer? If you're using IPNS, ENS, or on-chain pointers, you have a completely independent attack surface. Think of it this way. Your NFT metadata might be safely locked in an unchangeable house on IPFS. But an IPNS pointer, that's the street sign pointing to the house. If an unauthorized key can update that pointer, they can maliciously rotate the street sign to point to a different house entirely. Maybe a house containing a picture of a pixelated potato instead of your $1 million NFT. No way we want that. So we test this by trying to resolve the name, update it, and seeing who actually holds those signing keys.
All right, Section 3, APIs and Filecoin deals.
We've checked the data itself, but now we need to shift focus to our external integrations. Look, it's entirely possible to build an impenetrable decentralized vault, but leave the backdoor wide open with the keys literally still in the lock. Committing API keys to a GitHub repo is the digital equivalent of leaving your house keys under a brightly lit welcome mat, and it happens all the time. We need to search our repository using git grep for things like API_key or pin folder. Also, if you use a third-party pinning service, we got to test if those API endpoints actually enforce authentication. We'll use simple curl commands, pinging your endpoints without auth headers, just to see if we get a 200 OK or the expected 401 unauthorized.
Now, for those of us using Filecoin for deep archival, we have to verify ingestion. We do this by comparing your expected deal records against the actual sealed deals on the network. You need to query your Filecoin client or maybe your Powergate API to verify that the deals for your CIDs are actually present and sealed. If your internal tables map CIDs to deals, but those deals are missing or failing on the actual devnet, well, your entire archival plan is basically a sinking ship. We absolutely must verify that the data has actually been committed to the decentralized network.
Moving into Section 4, Building the Debug Report.
This is where we transition from the hacker breaking things back to the detective documenting them. You've run your scripts, you've found the loose hinges, but just finding them isn't the final deliverable. The debug report is our actual capstone deliverable here, and it requires 4 specific components. First, the raw output logs saved neatly in an audit logs directory. Second, prioritize findings, using your threat model to rank what's a high, medium, or low severity issue. Third, those reproducible POC steps we talked about earlier so anyone can actually trigger the bug. And finally, remediation mapped to metrics. Every fix you propose has to trace back to our core success metrics, like if you fix metadata tampering, you need to explicitly state how that restores our integrity metric. This acceptance matrix right here is your literal grading rubric. It shows exactly what a passing grade looks like for this checkpoint. Do you have a high severity POC? Well, the pass condition is that it runs and reproduces the issue, and the evidence is right there in your logs folder. Do you have a remediation plan? It needs actionable steps written down in the debug report. If all these items pass, you can confidently tag your branch as audit ready.
All right, Section 5, Checkpoints and Next Steps.
We need to wrap up this security audit phase and ensure everything is buttoned up tight before we start pushing the system to its absolute limits. Let's do a quick recap to ensure your prototype is properly hardened. Remember, reproducible POCs aren't optional, they are absolutely mandatory. You must verify your CID integrity across multiple gateways using those normalized JSON digests. You absolutely must audit your external integrations, check those pointer systems like IPFS, and make sure no API keys are hiding under the welcome mat. And finally, distill all of this into a comprehensive debug report with prioritized, actionable remediation steps.
So I leave you with this final provocative thought. Is your prototype truly ready for the real world? An untested system is a vulnerable system, but by completing this audit, finding those cracks, and writing up that debug report, you are transforming a fragile prototype into a hardened, secure infrastructure. Once those high-severity issues are closed, you are officially ready for load testing and deployment in our next lesson. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer made by Forge College. To dive deeper into the subject and explore more incredible Web3-related topics, be sure to visit forge.college to learn more. Keep building securely, and I'll see you in the next one.